Hi, and welcome to the MRC podcast. We are in the second episode of this podcast today, and today we have our featured guest, Mr. Bhupendra Pandey, who's the bureau head of the Indian Express. Welcome, Mr. Pandey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation for this interaction. So, the very first question that I'd like to throw is can you walk us through your professional journey? Because, my students, they'd like to learn through your experiences. So, a little bit about your professional journey.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be with you and the institute. Actually, it's a long journey that is still going on. It's been 25 years that I'm in journalism. I was a student of Lucknow University, and while being a student of post-graduation, I came across the media actually the first time with the English newspaper in Lucknow. I started as contributor. So I used
You
to
started as contributor means you started as writing?
contributing with there was a supplement of that newspaper.
Right.
They used to give chance to contributors like students or someone from the society who can write in English. So I used to get assignments from the person who used to head that supplement.
Yeah.
So I used to get, it was very thrilling for me that time. I used to, feel like that I'm a journalist, I'm a reporter. So that was a different feeling at that time, being a student. So that actually gradually, gave me some sense or closeness to so that was the reason I chose to, choose this profession. So it started in, 96 actually, and that's still going on. So there has been so many, introverts and all that. So it was good. I still feel, very, very lucky to be a journalist. I'm very proud of it also.
Definitely. Journalism happens to be one of the strongest pillars of democracy.
Yeah.
So, a very simple question is did you have this clarity right at the beginning when you were doing your master's that this is the field that I want to enter?
No, never. Actually, when I started contributing to, frankly speaking, we used to get some money, against that.
Yeah.
So being a student, actually in that time, we used to get some monetary help and some money against it. It was not in my mind. I wanted to choose. I wanted to go for civil services exam. Actually, that time, some of my friends did it. So it started indeed, but when I completed my masters, the year I completed a master, two of my friends joined, journalism course. I didn't do it. I never joined journalism.
You're a master's in English.
I'm master's English, but I didn't do any course in journalism.
Right.
I was doing contribution with that English newspaper, but I never did any journalism course. So gradually, when I started writing, when I started doing contribution, so contribution is type of a reporting. It was not like writing for some fruits or eateries or something. It was not like that. It was a sort of reporting.
Means like going to the ground.
Going to the ground, they used to give me assignment for historical. Go and do reporting on historical monuments,
Sites, yeah.
historical sites. What is happening? What is not happening? That is the reporting.
Yeah.
If we are writing what is not happening, what government is not doing, so it's not a contribution only. It's a reporting sort of.
Yeah.
So that gave me
You had to be very meticulous in
yeah.
situation.
What has to be done? What question has to be asked? From the concerned person or from the concerned officer, from the government person. So it gradually was that sort of training for me through that senior person in that English newspaper. So he used to tell me how to ask question, what question to be asked, what not to be asked, because you are not a whole-time journalist. You are not associated directly. You are not on the rolls. You are just a contributor. You are not organizations man. So you have to be very cautious about it. So that way I started learning, and then it gave me, gradually how it came. I didn't know, because that was not my goal to become a journalist or choose this as a profession. So it happens gradually. Suddenly I started liking it, and finally I decided that I have to do this. So this was like that.
Wonderful. It happens, I think it happens in everyone's life. Sometimes, what you think of, you're not able to achieve that. And, it's like the road not taken, and suddenly you realize that you end up doing something better than what you had thought of.
Right.
So it does happen. Yeah. So my question would be like, if you have to advise students about having a vision about the career and sort of translating that vision into reality, what would your advice be about?
Actually, my advice is only thing, whatever you are going to do, first you just think, whatever you are doing, you have to do it with your, inner heart. You should feel it, and you should feel like I have to do it, and you should enjoy that. Then only you should choose what you have to do. Right. You are going to any job, you are doing your own work. If that work actually gives you that sensation, and you always keep you on toes, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to make it more, so that sort of thing, that is very necessary. That passion you should have. Whatever you are doing, you are picking a job, you are going to do a job, or you have decided to do your own work, whatever. But first, one thing is very important, then only you will be able to give a good output. That you should have that passion with that job or that work. Then only you will be identified in that area, definitely. Right. You just keep doing it with passion, with liking, with that much, passion that is required.
Yeah. And sometimes it happens that, students have passion for something else, but they end up doing something else. Like it does happen, right? Your passion is to be a footballer or to be a cricketer, and then you realize, no, you're here, pursuing another career. I think, would you also say that probably sometimes it's also about just loving what you're doing at that moment? It's about enjoying every moment, or enjoying what you're doing at that particular moment. Is that very important?
Yeah, that is very important. Then only you will be excel, na? Yeah. You will excel in that particular, whatever you are doing. Right. That's true. Sometimes people think something like someone is preparing for civil services. Yeah. I have my friends who actually prepared for civil services with that passion. They did everything good, but it always happens. They couldn't clear it. Yeah. And finally, they thought, what else they can do? So they came to journalism. Yeah. This is the way, with that dignity, what they would have been doing as civil servant. They thought that being a journalist, that is also a way of connecting with people, doing good for them, serving the country in that way. Yeah. So that is also a way.
I think keeping oneself open to all the opportunities. That is very important.
And with you should be clear about one thing. Whatever you are going to do, you should know that you can do it. Yes. So that is very important.
That conviction is very important.
That conviction is very important. Yeah. Then only you will be able to give something.
Yes, absolutely.
That is very important.
Right.
It's not that whatever you get and you are doing, so that won't help.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yes. Right. You've also been a crime reporter for a very long tenure, and I've heard about your stories, some of the really brave stories, right? Yes. I'm not going to talk about those stories, but out of those stories, a few lessons that you may like to share with our audience.
Well,
because those have been the biggest challenges, I believe.
Yeah. Right? I have faced. There is one thing. This is good that one should be very confident. One should be confident and confident about his work. But one thing is also very important. One should think about what he's doing first, and doing with all the morals with him. He or she should not be, diverted to some other way. Whatever you are doing, you should do with conviction. Obviously, one has to do. But what I have learned in these years, being a crime reporter, I've come across so many crime incidents, so many big crime incidents, so many very gruesome killings or even scams. I've come across so many. I've covered all those. So during that, so coming, working with police, working with investigators, and seeing closely the accused. They are criminals, they are hardcore criminals, they are scamsters, they are fraudsters. They have, so many, they have so many powers and they used to enjoy. So one should always think about it, ki whatever he is doing, because I kept doing and it went well,
Yeah.
luckily.
Yes.
But thing is, ki whatever one should do, it's not about crime reporting only, but in other life also, whatever job one is doing.
Yeah.
So one should always be cautious, about ki what he's going to do, what his reaction is, and what this reaction is going to bring, whatever the consequences.
Yes,
One should
yes,
think about
yes.
it. So that should be in mind always. Obviously, I'll say ki one shouldn't step back. Whatever good you have to do, and you have to face the challenges. Challenges are always good
Yes.
for developing your personality or developing yourself.
Yeah.
So that is also very necessary. I mean, challenges are very necessary.
But one should not act on impulse,
Not impulse. No,
Yeah.
that will
jeopardize the whole
Yeah.
thing. Right.
that can.
And what has been your way of dealing with these challenges? Because I know you've sailed through it so smoothly. Are there any 2-3 specific mantras? Because nowadays these challenges happen to be a part of every industry or
Yeah.
workforce. So what are the 3 top mantras or top mantras to deal with these challenges?
See, one thing what I have experienced, you have to keep few things with you always. One, whatever you're doing, you should be honest with it. Whatever you are doing, there shouldn't be anything for vested interest. That is the one thing. You should, whatever you are doing, do it with honesty. Then, you see, you should maintain your dignity, whatever you are doing. Because whatever you are doing is, nowadays, today, day of social media platforms are always, picture go viral
Yes.
any second, any time. So one thing is whatever you should do with honesty. No one can harm you if you are honest with whatever you are doing, whatever you are saying, and what is coming out.
Yeah.
So that itself will show what you are doing. One thing. Second one is you should always maintain your dignity, so that whosoever person is, they won't be able to harm you anyway.
Right.
That is for sure.
Right. So by
So
dignity,
honesty
by
is-
dignity you mean like sort of maintaining your
Maintaining,
integrity
yes, integrity
sticking
and
to
yes,
the principles and
yes,
moral values.
yeah,
that you
moral
believe in.
values, yes.
Right.
If you are keeping all these things with you,
Yeah.
so no one can affect you adversely, ever.
Right.
So that is very important.
So one has to be. What you're saying is like you have to have your image and
Yes.
conduct yourself with full dignity. And second thing that you said was about
Honesty.
honesty. So one has to maintain that integrity forever, right? Anything that since we are reaching towards the end of this interaction, anything that you feel about this industry, media as an industry, like where do you see its future in the time to come?
See, always with all the industries, there is a time when there is rise and fall.
Yeah.
There are so many reasons. Diversity is always seen. I mean, it was 30, 40 years back also. Well, the media was not expanded like today.
Yeah.
Today, you will see it's not only big organization. I'm talking about the mainstream media. So there are journalists you will find on YouTube also, On social media also, they are doing good job.
Right.
Some way better than
You don't
the
need
mainstream.
a channel or a newspaper.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's not that ki only mainstream journalism or mainstream media is very powerful, or only they can do the good for the society or something. There are ways. There are ways. I mean, in today's time, there are so many mediums have come, and one can do, if one is not finding any space in mainstream, he can come out. He can come out with his own YouTube channel. He can do it, and they are doing very well,
Right.
even better than mainstream guys.
Right.
They are doing it.
Right. So, what do you feel like these lot of social media has given rise to a lot of journalists now? We can
Yeah,
say
yeah.
individual journalists
Yeah,
are flourishing in
that's
society.
true.
Is it do you see it as a threat to the mainstream media?
No, there is no threat. The only thing is what we talked earlier, the honesty and the way you are presenting your news or whatever
Yeah.
stuff you are giving as media.
Yeah.
So that even the journalists in social media, they are actually some way. I mean, I won't say they are teaching, but yes, they are not a threat for the mainstream. But yes, they also have viewers, and now they have given a space to, because mainstream media, you have electronic channels, you have print media, so people are already they are watching it, they are reading it for long.
Saturated, like
So
the saturation level.
a term
Yeah.
still, I mean, you won't say that there are not still the people read newspapers, still people watch television, I mean the TV
Right.
news channels.
Yeah.
But when you see YouTubers, I mean the journalists on YouTube, they have very good viewership. They are bringing issues. They are talking, so
Relevant things about.
yeah, and they are free to speak anything. Anything doesn't mean that you're speaking anything worthless, or
Yes,
it's not like that.
yeah.
But at least which is worth,
Yes.
they can speak, and they are being heard.
Yes.
They are being heard. They have viewers,
Right.
and that is changing a bit mainstream also.
So that means social media has paved way for a lot of opportunities. I think a lot of people can
yes.
come up and bring up the causes, the concerns of
Yeah,
the people, the masses.
Yeah. Not only YouTube, you have Facebook, the X or tweet.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
They have so many things.
Yeah.
They actually, the people don't wait for newspaper to come next morning, or any news channel coming and covering it. You have a mobile phone, you just click it, write few lines, and post it, and people know about it. It goes viral,
Yeah.
and people, even mainstream media picks that stuff.
Right, right. So social media also happens to be very, very powerful.
it's very
Yeah.
powerful.
Provided it is used
Yeah, it is
judiciously
used for
and
good.
it's used for a good cause.
Yeah.
Right. So given the time that we had with us for this interaction, I think I have really learned a lot, and I'm sure my audience is also going to learn a lot. The most important things that we have learned from you is whatever profession or career that you want to build up, I think what we have learned from our guest today is, follow the path of integrity, honesty, and stick to the moral values and principles, and carry a very professional and a very positive image of yours. And that is something which is very, very important for every professional. So, Mr. Pandey, thank you so much for, being here and interacting with us today. And thank you so much.
It was very nice. It was very nice to be here. Thank you.